Hey guys, I'm going to be talking about what is big data. A lot of friends of mine who are not technologists have been asking me, so stick around. Hey guys, Garnie here. Thanks for joining in. Hey, I'm here at the DoubleTree by Hilton at the Hobby Airport in Houston. If you're looking for a great place to stay, the DoubleTree's it. I mean, they didn't plug me or they didn't ask me or get a response to this video or anything. I every time I come here, they always take care of me. So if you're always looking for a good place, I'll give you my thumbs up on that one. Hey, so friends of mine, non-technical people have asked me, hey Garnie, you're always working and talking about big data. Now, what the heck is that? So to qualify that, let me start off by disclaiming that I actually work for a company called Informatica that actually works in this space, and it's just one of those passionate things that goes along. What do you do with data and the art of the possibility of working with data? That's what drives me and what keeps me going in what I do in the professional space. But a lot of my friends who are technical, who I work with, or my clients and my friends and my customers, this is an oversimplification. So this is really for people who are just asking the question, gee, what is big data? Well, big data is really a term associated with how do you process and get insight to information that you have. Now you're like, oh, wait a minute, Garnie, don't we already have analytical systems that do that? And I would say yes, but it's a new way of approaching analytics to data. And then let me explain why. As you know, the amount of data has just skyrocketed based upon your cell phones, based on your computers, based upon auto-generated information. Think of all the sensor data that's out there. What about financial requirements that are out there? What about production and manufacturing data? There's a whole bunch of information, and traditionally, finance used to just be financial data. And then their production data used to just be production or manufacturing data, just became their own. And what we call those siloed information. Now, if you tie in all the social media or what we call sentiment information tied into that, how can you take financial and manufacturing production information and sentiment information and make some sense out of it? So the biggest thing that really has come out of it is the question, is there a way to process all of these huge data sets together so we can make better sense of the information we have? See, knowledge is king. We all know that. Knowledge is king. And if you can extract and squeeze more information, more insight out of the data that you have, that's powerful. That will help you make better decisions or make the business have opportunities to make better decisions on the information they have. So data is now becoming more of an asset to the organization. Now let me stop with all this mumbo jumbo. All that information, what do you do with it? It's expensive. I mean, it's expensive to hold all that information. It's expensive to process all that information. It's expensive for all the people to get access to it and figure out what to do with all that information. Well, several years ago, there was a gentleman who actually created this technology called Hadoop. Yeah, it started back in Yahoo, and Google's taken off with it, and a whole bunch of other companies have actually run with this thing called Hadoop. So what is Hadoop? Hadoop is actually the name of a set of technologies that gives you lots of memory, lots of processing power, and lots of storage for your data. And it does it in an economical way. Not expensive. It's meant to use inexpensive platforms or inexpensive hardware to do that. So you can imagine having a bunch of servers sitting around in a cluster mode, and it's all there for the purpose of the data. You can store it, you can process it, and you can actually use the horsepower that's within that environment to process the data. And I won't say cheaply, but it was less expensive than traditional methods that we've done in the past. So that's what Hadoop is. Now, Hadoop is the hardware platform that goes along with it. On top of that, the act of working with the data, that's what we call big data. Big data processing, big data analytics, big data integration, big data, you name it. Any type of verb you could think of or noun that associates with the data that's inside this cluster of information, or this cluster we call Hadoop, is big data. Now, big data is very important because there has to be creative ways. Companies are scrambling right now to find creative ways to find out or extract more information out of the data they have. See, in the past, you were given a question and you went and researched for that data or for that information. Well, here, let me throw a little paradigm shift on you. today with big data, instead of you having a question and going to look for the answer based on data sets you think you need, what if all the data and the insights are available for you? And in fact, it will provide you answers to questions you have yet to ask. Yeah, mind blowing. Poof, right? Think about it. In the old days, hey, I needed to search for something. You go and search for it. You go look for that data. Today, there is a way of actually having all that data available, and it may have already answered the questions for you let me restate that. It already has answers for you to questions that you've yet to ask. Yeah, that's the benefit of big data. And that's why it's such an important thing to businesses today, because if they can answer questions quickly, and that is if the answers are already there and they can gain insights to those quickly enough, yeah, you can manage competitive advantage, better decisions, faster reactive times to things, predictive analytics, predict things. That's what big data is bringing value to companies. And remember, the underlying platform we call Hadoop, yeah, it's less expensive to store and process that data. Yeah, that's where this is all going. Now, I won't throw in all the cloud stuff, but yeah, you can do all of this in the cloud too. Yeah, it's amazing what's happened in just in the last few years of what you could do with data. So when somebody asks me, hey Garnie, what do you do around big data? Hey, it's everything. Analytics, movement, access, security, insights, anything you can think about for doing with data. Now, so remember that example I said, finance has a silo of data, and you have manufacturing production data, then you have sentiment data that's all siloed out. Now imagine bringing all of that together. So the finance people can see the sentiment information and match that to the production data, or manufacturing folks can actually see, or engineering can see sentiment information based upon the products that they received, based upon the revenue that's actually generated from that. That's what I call multidimensional views to the data sets that you have. And in the past, all of those were separate entities. You really didn't have access to all of those. Today you have the opportunity to do so. That's why I say it's the art of the possible of data, is gaining access to insight to the information that you may have not had before, and making it available to really smart people within organizations that can actually make some really good decisions on it. Yeah. Now, of course, there's other terms out there that I like to use, like data democratization, or free access to data, or data cataloging, and I'll get into those things later. But right now, what is big data and what it really means? It is accessing vast amounts of data that you can process effectively for the business. And it doesn't matter what type of data you have. It's giving that access to the business that needs it so they can make better business decisions. Yeah, there's a lot of things under the covers, like, what do you do around real-time analytics and, gaining and moving data and security of all of that. But for my friends that are out there who keep asking me, what is big data? It's just providing you the art of the possibility and access to data that you traditionally have never had before, so that the business can make better decisions on. And it's just a wonderful time. It's just like, it blows my mind how fast the technologies are changing to support big data. I mean, you remember that Hadoop layer that I was telling you about? Yeah, that stuff is changing all the time. It's rapidly growing, it's rapidly changing. And we haven't seen anything like this ever. It's just mind-blowing. And on top of that, with all the new tools and all the new technologies that support that, that's changing rapidly too. And then all the neat things that you can do for the business. I call them neat, but they're cool stuff. I mean, think about being able to predictively tell how the weather is going to affect you, in whatever reasons. It's just mind-blowing. And I keep saying that because that's what drives me. I love to listen to and come up with use cases around that, or discuss use cases. That's what I do around big data, guys, is help expose the art of the possibility. There are other things that are associated with, such as data cataloging, about cataloging the information around there. Yeah, can you imagine having a data dictionary or a data catalog that says, hey, where your data is located, or you actually have this data that's available? Or how about being able to democratize data so that way I can see data that's across the board, or have some kind of machine learning algorithms that make recommendations to data sets that I'm looking for. That if I'm trying to search for certain data sets that, machine learning can make recommendations. It's like shopping on Amazon for data. It's like, hey, you might like this because someone else has already done that for you. Yeah, these are things that we're working on today. So guys, I just wanted to keep that short, sweet, and simple. Again, I don't want to overcomplicate it, but these are the things I'm doing every day, having these kind of conversations. And you know, if you've got more questions around that, you know, send me a message. Let me know. It's a lot of fun, and there's a lot of smart people, people who are a lot smarter than I am, who get involved in these things. But it's just a great time to be around if you're in the world of data and data analytics. This is a wonderful time. And in fact, have you ever heard the term data scientists? Yeah, they're in hot demand. These are the people who actually know how to process that massive amounts of information to gain insight, to make better decisions, or to produce better decisions. Yeah, pretty cool. Anyway, guys, if you like what you see here for my tech delivery days, hit that like button. If you're new to my channel, hit that subscribe button, because you know I'm always looking for new friends to join me on this journey. So come on, let's have some fun. And until then, we'll talk to you tomorrow. Peace.